Hello everybody. Today I want to do sort of a chillaxing, sort of quiet but sort of chatty stitch along on this pattern from 7 Great, and I just started with this super bright orange color. Now I'm not sure if you can see just how bright orange it is by looking at that, but maybe by looking at this extra you can see that this is like a fiery burnt orange hue. It doesn't look like much. I did these stitches here. It doesn't look like much on the canvas because the canvas printing is so bright. You can't even appreciate just how bright that orange is. But let me flip it over and you can see how bright it is. All right, the camera never does these colors justice. But I'm just gonna get started, and where am I gonna start? I guess right in the middle, so it's just easy for everybody to see and easy for me to do. I put this on a hoop because it's just a little bit easier to record when I have these on a hoop. This one, the canvas is still stiff enough that I didn't really need the hoop to do it, but just makes the whole process easier for you guys to see it. And I am doing this with the poke method, and I am just going to adjust so that I can do two-handed. Let's just move you guys over a little bit. All right, there we go. So I do like to do two-handed stitching when I can. So I have my left hand underneath, my right hand on top. It just makes it go a little bit faster. This particular thread keeps on wanting to bunch up into a knot. I don't know what it is with some threads, and it's not even like a specific color. It's like a specific thread itself. They seem to want to make knots. So I'm carefully holding the bottom as I stitch to try and keep it from getting knots. How is everybody doing? Are you having a great day? I hope so. My day is pretty decent so far. I worked today. I work a lot. I mean, I don't work much more than anyone else with a full-time job, but anyone who has a full-time job knows that a full-time job is a lot. It's a crazy busy time of year. I work at the university, and it's funny because people seem to assume that if you work in education that somehow you get summers off or something. Summer is my busiest time of year up until there's a little bit in August where there's just a little bit of a reprieve, not much of a reprieve, but a little bit. But honestly, May, June, July, those are the busiest time of year. It is absolutely insane with students who are, so we have to look at all of the students and see if they're eligible to progress. So we spend a ton of time doing that. And then also students are choosing their courses for next year. They're trying to choose their programs for next year. They are starting to get registered in courses for next year. There's just a lot going on in summer. That's even without, summer classes going on. So it is extremely busy in summer. In fact, during the year, there are 2 times of year that are a little bit less busy. In October, it's not very busy. And to a lesser extent in February, And those are the only times where I feel like I have a moment to breathe. Here I am trying to have like a relaxing stitch, and I'm telling you about how stressful my job is. That's not very nice. We should talk about nice things. We have a trip booked in October, and we are going to Europe, and we're going on a cruise. It's a 10-day cruise, and it's going around. It starts in, I believe, Athens, and then ends up in Barcelona, and along the way we go to Malta. We hit Mykonos and Santorini. I have not been to those two islands. I am really looking forward to seeing them. I love Europe. I love all the history in that area. There's always like the coolest stuff to see. The last time we went on a cruise in that area, we hit more of like the historical type of places. Like we went to Knossos and Ephesus. I believe we saw the Oracle at Delphi. We went to Rome, which we're going to hit again this time. And so we hit like a lot of really historical places. This time, like Malta and those two Greek islands, I don't know what they have like historical there. I feel like the impression that I get is they are less big historical area, and they're more of just like vacation type destination. I could be totally wrong. Maybe there's some really cool history in that area. I'm not sure. Definitely it's something that I'll look into before I go, and we should probably start looking at excursions. When we go to Rome, I'd like to go to the Vatican again. The Vatican, I've been twice, and it is so amazing. It's huge. It's so huge. I'm having a hard time describing it because it's just so breathtaking. It's humongous. It's full of people, and full of people on tours. The tour guides carry flags, and sometimes they carry umbrellas that they hold up in the air, so you'll know like, oh, my tour is the lady holding up the green umbrella or whatever. There's so many people, you could easily lose your tour in St. Peter's Basilica. You can also do the tour of the Vatican Museum, and that's where they keep a lot of the art and statues. I don't know, art and statues. That's kind of the same thing, but so you can usually do a tour of the museum. I'd love to see the catacombs beneath St. Peter's, where the former popes are buried. I'm not sure if they've just been closed to the public the last few times I went, or if you need to have a special tour or what. That's certainly something I would like to look into. That would be really, really neat. The Sistine Chapel, of course, is absolutely amazing. Michelangelo was such a talented artist. So that ceiling is not flat, obviously, but he was smart enough to be able to like exaggerate body parts and stretch them out so that when you're on the floor looking up at the ceiling, the person looks like they are the right proportion. But if you actually flattened out the painting, they would have like, you know, a giant hand or a triangle shaped head. But because of the angle that you're looking up at it, it looks normal. And he did all of that before there was computer modeling, and I don't know how he did it, but the Sistine Chapel is amazing. The other thing that I like a lot is Michelangelo's Pieta statue, which has, from the very first time I ever saw it as a young person, I just found it breathtaking. I'm using that word a lot. It just, the emotion in that statue, the movement in the statue, like the draping of Mary's outfit, what do you call that, like robe? And the way that she's holding Jesus on her lap, like, is just brings such an emotional reaction for me. Now, unfortunately, they have to keep it behind bulletproof glass because some numbnuts went in there many, many years ago. I don't 100% remember the story, whether they took an axe to it or they shot it or something, but the statue was at one point damaged, not severely, but it was damaged. And now it's held along with many of the other artworks behind bulletproof glass, so you can't get up too close to it. Still amazing to look at, but you have to stand back behind something. So that's unfortunate. But apparently there are several statues. Now, I have to think back in my memory. I think Michelangelo made 4 different versions of the Pieta. I think Pieta just stands for, I don't know what language it is, but I think it just means like Mary holding Jesus's dead body. I think that's what that means. Anyways, he made several versions. I believe it was him, and it's not just other people that made it. But you know what? That was a long time ago when I went to Italy and saw all those statues. I think some of them are in Florence. That's not the right one. I don't normally like to travel all the way from here to here, but, you know, let's be wild and crazy. Let's just waste thread. Is there anything that in those places that you think I should see? I would be interested to know if you guys have been, if you live around there, anything that you think should not be missed. Or if you've done a similar cruise. This one is on Norwegian. We've been on several different cruise lines, and I really liked Norwegian when we went before. The last time we cruised in Europe, we went on Cunard, and Cunard is a British line, and they are very like high class, snooty. They have a dress code just for like walking around during the day. So you have to wear like a smart outfit. I think was the dress code was something like that. Something where you're like, who even talks like that? Only the British must wear a pair of smart slacks. Anyways, not everybody followed the dress code, but it was kind of nice with having that expectation of, you know, this is a slightly nicer boat. And it attracts like an older crowd. I think we were the youngest people, but we got a good deal. And it was pretty nice. One of the problems with going on a British, more highbrow ship, we really like going to the trivia nights. But on this Cunard vessel, the trivia questions were things like, what Shakespeare character blah blah blah, and like very like arts and literature stuff, and we're like, okay, can you ask us something about like Britney Spears or something that we have a chance of knowing? I mean, I know as much about Shakespeare as your average person, which is not much. I know Hamlet, and that's it. So we always, when we went on the other, Carnival and Norwegian, we always went to the trivias and had a really good time. But Cunard, we went to the first trivia, and then we were like, okay, I don't think this isn't for us. This is not our kind of trivia. Every morning they would have their little TV show on the cruise channel or whatever, and the director of entertainment would get on and she would tell just the worst clean jokes. I mean, I don't have anything wrong with clean jokes. I think clean jokes are great. But, jokes that would be appealing to every member of your family. So they're pretty bad. If you have to come up with something that's appropriate for kids and seniors. And then she would laugh, she would tell her joke, and then she would go, oh, isn't that funny? Isn't that a marvelous joke? A jolly jape. Yeah, good times. That was good times. We saw so many cool things on that trip. I think my favorite still is Rome, though. I think Rome itself has the best history. Ephesus was very cool. Very, very cool. But Rome has modern history and ancient history. And to be able to walk in like the Forum where Western civilization was born, basically. That is just too cool. And then many years ago, I actually got to go to, oh my gosh, what's that place called? Pompeii. I think we might be seeing Pompeii this time as well. It would be a drive-in because it's not right on the coast, I don't think. But that's what these cruise stops, sometimes they stop the boat and then you have like an hour or two drive in to do your excursion and then back out. But yeah, Pompeii was really neat. Everything in Pompeii was preserved because, as you probably know, they were covered in ash right in the middle of living their best lives. And so everything is preserved the way it was on that one day in 79 AD. It's really something that you just don't get that kind of preservation usually. And they can even see, the people, the casts of the people. Okay, this thread is done. Are you going to go in there or not? Okay, no is the answer. That's fine. And I'm just going to continue with the other side of the other half of that thread. It's all caught up on the needle holder or needle threader. What are we at here? About 20 minutes. What are you guys working on? I'd be interested for anyone who's stuck with me this long, because you were looking for some company. Do you prefer more chatty, or do you prefer a more relaxing, just stitch along, the sound of the thread going in and out of the project. I'd be interested to know what you prefer. I guess I'm getting a biased sample because if you've been sitting here listening to me blather on, you must like talking. But I'd be interested to know. I like both. Sometimes I really like to listen to people and stories. And then sometimes I just want something relaxing so that I am basically not alone. I started watching more of these types of stitch along and stuff actually during lockdowns when I had to work at home by myself, and I am a fairly social person, and so that was really tough for me. And I found just putting on videos of people talking was so soothing. It was like being at an office with other people. I hear a siren outside. Not good. Never good. So my husband is going to be having a knee replacement surgery at the end of the month. We go tomorrow to the hospital for his pre-op, and we'll find out everything that needs to be done. I've already lined up a seat for using in the shower so that he doesn't have to try to balance on one leg and shower. And we've got a walker and crutches. The guy down the street had his knee replaced just a few months ago, and he said that they wanted him to use the walker, but he preferred the crutches. But they like you to use the walker for the first little while because they want you to put more weight on your leg versus the crutches. You can really use them as a crutch. So they don't want you doing that. They want you putting your full weight on the knee pretty much as soon as possible, I think, to keep movement in it and everything. So they prefer that you use a walker. The worst thing in the world would be to fall down after having that surgery. So the walker is good. I don't know how my husband is gonna feel doing that. He's a very athletic person. I think it will be very difficult for him to, sit still or use the walker. Obviously, he's not going to feel like going for a jog or anything, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it's not too long that he needs that. The guy down the street, I would say after a month, he was very, very slowly kind of hobbling around the block. So I don't think that he'll have to use the walker or the crutches for very long. Where is the hole? There we go. Anyways, I think he'll be really happy. Everyone says that it's, the best thing they've ever done after they heal. So he should be able to, right now, the pain has not limited his activities. He's still doing all his fitness and everything. It just really hurts when he does it. So hopefully this will, after a few months, really take that pain away. Maybe make it more flexible. That would be really great because he cannot bend that knee very far. I'm obviously, a little bit worried, but honestly, that this is one of those surgeries that makes your life better. Like, there are surgeries that are meant to keep you alive, like, you know, getting a bypass or something. That's for sick people, and we're trying to, you know, just keep you alive. Whereas things like knee replacement are actually supposed to make your life better after you get them. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think this will only make him better. But, you know, I think it's just normal to have concerns about everything. This is a really cool color. I really like it. It's so bright. Bright and shiny. It fits in with the pattern color on the canvas just being so bright and in your face. I've always had the urge to do a canvas. I mean, not always had a strong urge, but a little bit of a thought of doing an entire canvas where you do the numbers in order. So you do the entire canvas in number 1 color, then number 2, number 3. I think that would be like a fun challenge, like a mental challenge, because you always want to go, you're like, oh, today I feel like doing this blocking or whatever. But it would be fun to be like strict on a schedule. It's color 1, color 2. No, maybe not with a bigger canvas, but with a smaller one. I think that would be really fun. All right, I am going to finish off this thread. All right, so we got a little bit of this orange done. This is what it looks like from the back. You just saw it. Not a huge amount, but really getting that sun just started. Again, this pattern is from 7 Great, and this is the picture. It is adorable. I just love, it's so whimsical. That sun is so neat with the little patterns in it. Cute little birdie in the sky. Oh, a couple birdies. Some snails and stuff. This is just really adorable. This picture really plays with perspective, like the small boat in front, the big boat in back, the giant sun, but the equally giant birds and stuff. I really like it. It just is very like fairy tale whimsical. Oh, and there's another bird. I didn't even see that guy. Anyways, if you would like this pattern, you can get this at 7 Great, and our discount code is GEAR10 off. So make sure you take advantage of that discount code if you're going to pick up this pattern. All right, have a great evening, everyone, or afternoon or morning or whatever. It's evening here. All right, bye.